one on.
Is it back on?
Need somebody. I don't know.
Will you unlock it, Scott? We are going live here momentarily. We had a change of cameras for our Instagram, and we are getting that live, and we should be coming in live on Instagrammy. So we're live. It's Friday, Automotive Fridays. Starting out with a little tidbit out of Sell or Be Sold. We're going to talk about what my man Grant says about the difference between a professional and an amateur. And we're going to see how that applies to what we're trying to accomplish in our business. Today, we're going to specifically get into using the coach pad. I almost just threw that on the floor, but we're going to use the coach pad, which is one of our tools that allows you as a salesperson to professionally gather some information, do a great needs assessment, help the buyer through that process, right? We call it qualifying. We call it building a buyer profile, call it needs assessment. Every dealership calls it something different. We got a little tool that helps out. The reason why we're attacking that today is because we have had a ton of people buying coach pads over the last couple of weeks that don't have us coming out doing in-house training. So Brandon McKee, I know you ordered some. I saw some go out to the Pacific Northwest. I don't remember that dealer's name, but I know a bunch of guys have been ordering some coach pads. So we're going to take a walk through the coach pad, talk about that a little bit, see how we can use that, how we can engage it, and how we can use that to get us deeper into the process. So I am Derek Simons. I am with the Cardone Group. It is Automotive Fridays. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Our goal is always, we want to help you have a successful weekend. So today, let's start out by looking at what the difference is between a professional or an amateur. Grant says a professional is a person who is engaged in a specific activity as his or her main paid occupation rather than a pastime. An amateur is a person who engages in a pursuit, study, science, or sport as a pastime rather than a profession, or one lacking in experience and competence in an art or a science. Okay, right? So that's pretty clear. The difference between mediocrity and greatness lies in being committed to your profession and being consumed by the desire to be great and the dedication to learn the trade. When we look at this and we talk about what's happening in our industry, one of the things that we continually come back to is the level of professionalism, right? We need to be professionals, right? We are not the 1970s or 80s car salespeople, right? We're not wearing the white patent leather shoes with the big old belt buckles and walking around, hey, anybody got you, smoking a cigarette, standing around outside, smoking and joking, waiting on the next step. We are professionals, man. We are automotive professionals, and we need to apply some sense of rationality to what we're doing. We need to get that commitment, right? We need to quit playing around being an amateur. We need to be a professional. And that means that we need to step up our game some. We need to be prepared for whatever the customer's situation is. We need to be prepared for how we can help them get deeper into the process. So from the beginning, right? We always talk about from the beginning. We say we want to offer information to the customer. Customer walks onto the lot. They come into the dealership. Hey, my name's Derek. Welcome to Cardone Motors. What vehicle can I get you information on today? Oh, that's an excellent choice. We've got a great selection of those. My job's simple. Help you find a vehicle that's right for you and your family. And then when you're ready, I'll be more than happy to get you the price on that vehicle. I'll get you estimates on down payment, monthly payment. Heck, I'll even get you figures on the car you're driving today. How does that sound, Mr. Customer? Remember, our goal is to offer information, right? Here's the reality. We already know they got it. We already know they got the information. Where did they get it? Well, they got it on the internet, right? You probably even your website gave them some of that information because we know they went to 3 OEM websites, 4 third-party websites, and at least 3 dealership websites before they even walked through the door. They've done 8 hours of research, and they're here physically in your store. So it's up to you now to help them make that magical next step into car ownership. So what do we need to do? We need to offer them information because if they think you're not going to provide them information, they're checking out. They're going down the road motors. Okay. We see this all the time. We have in our mystery shops and our engagements with the OEMs, one of the things that drives me bonkers is the perception of salespeople that when the customer leaves and they don't have a real specific reason that they left, well, they'll be back. No, they're not going to be back. They're really not. Those people are never coming back, right? We know that they're only shopping 1.2 to 1.6 dealerships on average right now. And I hate to tell you this, you don't want to be the 0.2. You want to be the 1. Right? You want to be the one that they do business with. So in that vein of thought, right? Let's use information to get deeper into the process. We know they want it. We know we got it. Let's provide it to them. So now when I have offered them information right up front, right? Hey, before you leave, I'm gonna get you the price. I'm gonna get you estimates on down payment, monthly payment, even figures on the car you're driving today. How does that sound, Mr. Customer? And they say, yep, that sounds great. That's why I'm here. We've just provided them something that they didn't know they were going to get. And that's a win for the customer, right? So that's a bonus. That's a benefit. They don't have to fight to get the information that they're after. So that allows us now to transition and to begin to be consultative selling, to build that buyer profile. So how do we do that? We simply say, hey, Mr. Customer, to save us 30 minutes worth of time, I'd like to start with your present vehicle. I'm gonna gather the information off of it. I'll drop it off with a member of my management team, and they'll professionally appraise your car while we're out looking at those What's It mobiles. It's simple because we're offering them something. Remember, we gave them information. We told them, we're going to be a provider. We're going to get you that information. We're not going to hold anything back. Before you leave, you're going to have all the information you need, right? Simple. Now we're giving them a reason that we're going to start with their present car. Hey, we're going to save you 30 minutes worth of time. I'm going to gather the information on your vehicle. I'm going to write it up and drop it off with a member of my management team. They're going to get your car professionally appraised while we're out looking at that new What's It mobile. So now I have a logical reason that I can transition to their present vehicle. And that's critical. That's what it's about. We need logic. We need to give value. We need to add service to the customer. There's one thing that we talk about all the time. It takes too long to buy a car. Period. End of story. It takes too long to buy a car. Everybody in here, everybody that's watching this, everybody that's selling cars, we hate it. You know, in the old days, it used to take us, I don't know, 2.5 hours back when I first started selling cars to get a car delivered. Then you get busy, and then we added F&I, and we added all the different elements of it and what's happening, the delivery processes and the things that are required by the OEMs and the introduction to the service department. Next thing you know, average transaction time's over 5 hours. 5 hours. Okay. As a salesperson, I want that transaction time to be 2 hours. You know why? Because I can't sell 3 cars on a Saturday if it takes 5 hours to deliver each one, right? I need it to be 2 hours so I can sell 3 cars on a Saturday, right? So we need to look at how do we speed up the process? Well, the one way you speed up the process is by getting the appraisal done in the second step so that you can get that part out of the way. Now, a lot of times we have dealers that'll say to us, well, I don't want to appraise a car. I don't want to appraise the car unless I know this person is committed to buying. Well, here's the deal. That person's committed because they drove to a place that they don't want to be and met somebody that they didn't want to meet to get the information that they needed to purchase a car, right? We know they're only going to 1.2 to 1.6 dealerships. Let's take a swing at it, man. You look at what CarMax does. What's CarMax do with the car? They control it from the beginning. I joke about this sometimes, but I say CarMax does a better job with our process than some of our dealers do. And the reason why is because if you can control the trade, you control the deal. If you take a customer's trade in, or if you buy the customer's trade from them, guess what's happening? They're buying a car from you. That's what's happening. And that's the reason why the trade is such a critical piece of the transaction, and the reason why the coach pad allows us to engage the customer around that trade in a very professional manner and gather the information that we need to create that buyer profile. So I've said to the customer, hey, let's start with your present vehicle. I'll gather all the information off of that present vehicle. I'll write that up, drop it off with a member of the management team here. They'll get it professionally appraised while you and I are out looking at your next vehicle. How's that sound, Mr. Customer? Great. So now I've got tacit approval to begin the process, right, of getting them deeper. Now, remember, every step that we take here with the customer, our goal is very simple. I talk about this a lot in process management. I don't care what process you're managing, but in process management, step 1 has one goal. It's to get to step 2. Step 2 has a goal. It's to get to step 3. Now there becomes compounding goals where 1 and 2 add value to 4, but you can't get to 4 unless you go to step 3. And so when we talk about this with the salespeople, if the greeting is the beginning and the needs assessment and the present vehicle is the second step and the write-up is the 4th step, think about that. Logically, we know 1, 2, and then we're going to get to 4, right? We're getting closer every single step. So let's do that. Let's just focus on getting closer, right? Next step. Hey, we're going to save you 30 minutes worth of time. Got the information off your vehicle. Drop it off to a member of our management team. They'll professionally appraise your car while we're out looking at the next vehicle. How's that sound? Great. Now I start walking over to the car. At this moment in time, one of the things that is a little bit different about us than some of the other people is that when I introduce myself, I am going to say I'm Derek Simons, but I'm not going to hold on to their hand and be like, and who are you? And your name is, and who's this with you? Are there any other decision makers involved today? That's not what I'm doing right now. All I'm doing is saying, hey, I'm Derek. Welcome to the dealership. What can I get you information on? If they share their name with me at that moment in time, great. If they don't, I'm not worried about it because I know in another 2 minutes, I'm going to capture all their information. So as I'm walking over to their car, I'm going to start asking them questions. And we break the questions down into 2 segments. There's 5 what we call money questions, and there's 4 non-money questions that are tied to behavior, okay? So when we walk back towards the car, I can start asking them simple questions. If I see the car or I see the car that they get out of and I know what the car is, I can ask them just some very generic questions. Oh, look, is this your Toyota Corolla here, right? Is this your Corolla? Yeah, it is. Oh, fantastic. What year is that Corolla? It's a 2015. Okay, so right now I've already And this is really important. I want to move fast at this point in time. Okay. So from the time that I've had my greeting with the customer to the time that I'm actually transitioning to their present vehicle should be a minute or two, 3 minutes. Okay. Maybe 5 if I got a real talkative customer. Now, as I'm transitioning over to the car and I start asking them questions, I want to start moving. I want to make this go. I want to be in action, in movement. Okay. So it's a 2015 and I'm going to start writing it down. I'm going to start asking the questions as I go along. Okay, so it's a 2015. It's a Toyota. It's a Corolla. What trim level is that? Do you remember? Okay, fantastic. I'm going to just walk around the car real quick, and then I'm going to ask you some questions to save us some time. Tell me, what have you liked most about your present vehicle? This is me. I'm at their car, right? And I'm going to start walking around their car, and I'm looking at their car. Hey, tell me, what have you liked most about your present vehicle, right? This is one of the non-money questions we ask. Okay, the gas mileage? Yeah, I bet. Corollas get great gas mileage. What have you liked least about it? Oh, it's a little tinny. It's a lot of road noise. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. Do you have a long commute? See what's happening now? We're engaging in a conversation. But you need to do this while you're walking around the car. We don't just stand there. This is not an interrogation. Now, I'll tell you something funny. Some of our salespeople that we work with, they'll actually tuck this in the back of their pants, right? So they've got it with them. Okay. We don't want to be like a highway trooper. We're not. Okay. Where were you on the night of the 15th? That's not what we're trying to do. This is a conversation, man. It needs to be engaging, needs to be relaxed, and we need to do it in the context of what we're doing for the customer, which is providing them information and saving them time, right? So I'm walking around the car. What do you like most about the present vehicle? First question. Like the gas mileage. Yeah, Corollas, I bet they get great gas mileage. What do you like least about the present vehicle? Oh, it's a little bit rough on the ride. You get a lot of road noise. Okay, fantastic. Got it. What's changed most in your life since your last purchase? And again, I'm walking around the car as I do this. I'm walking around looking at the car. What's changed most in your life since your last purchase? Okay, hold that thought for a second. I want to talk about what I'm doing when I'm walking around the car. I'm not touching a dent and going, ooh, was anybody killed in the accident, right? I'm not rubbing the tires going, ooh, right? I am looking at it. I'm seeing it. Look, I see the same scrapes on the door handle that the customer sees every day that they open it. Right? When I look at the windshield, I see the same chips in the windshield that they see every day when they're driving it. They all know it's there. Okay. You will get customers that'll have verbal diarrhea and they'll start talking to you about it. They'll be like, oh, well, I was going to get tires, but we're thinking about trading in. So we haven't done that. I cannot tell you how many customers in the life cycle of walking around their car have told me that. Hundreds, thousands of customers have said that to me. They know it needs tires. They don't want to spend another $600 on a car they're getting rid of. They don't want to spend $1,000 on a car they're getting rid of. So as I'm walking around the car, I'm not putting down their car. Not at all. I'm not being negative. I'm not rubbing the dents or dings. I'm looking at it. If they share anything with me, that's awesome. Good. But I'm not bringing it up because they see it. I see it. We all know it. There's no reason to be negative now. We got to get them deeper. Remember, deeper. So what do you like most? What do you like least? What's changed most in your life since your last purchase? Next question that we ask, what's your next vehicle need to do that this one doesn't? Right? Well, really, I'd like to have the Bluetooth audio, and I'd like to have a little bit more room. That's really one of the big things that we want. Okay, fantastic. So I've got all the features and benefits that I need to be presenting to the customer in my selection and demonstration phase that I've already learned. I learned about the gas mileage, about the ride. I learned about the size of the vehicle, right? I've asked the questions that have put me in a position that I'll be able to do a tailored product presentation. Now I'm going to start transitioning into some other questions. So one of the techniques that we like to do is we ask the customer, hey, could you hand me your registration? I want to write down your VIN number. So when they hand you the registration, you're going to put the 17-digit VIN number right across there on your coach pad, and then you're going to look at them and you're going to say, by the way, I see here that your name is Vincent. Is that correct? Yep. Is that what you go by, Vinny or Vincent? Vinny? Okay, good. Vinny. Vinny's our camera operator today. He's back here looking at me with a smile. So I'm going to then go, and by the way, is that still the correct address at 123 Anywhere Lane? I'm going to capture that and say, great, got it. Okay, here's your registration. And what's the best daytime phone number for me to get in touch with you at, Vinny? And if I can't get you there, should I text you, email you? What's the easiest way to get you? Okay, fantastic. And I capture that information too. Now, the context here is that I'm giving them something. I'm saving them time. And by the way, in this process, we're still probably 5 to 7 minutes in from the time that I've shaken the customer's hand. I'm moving. I am not slowing down. This is all about movement. This is about keeping this thing going. So I'm asking the questions, and then I get that information. I write it down, and I say, hey, Do you remember when you purchased your car? This goes into the 5 money questions. Okay. This is another one of the questions that's right here on the coach pad. This goes into the 5 money questions. Do you remember when you purchased your car? Yeah, it was October of 2015. Okay, fantastic. Do you remember what you paid for it? What the price was? $16,500. Okay, fantastic. And when's your next payment due? When's your next payment due? It's due on the 15th of this month. Okay. And by the way, how much is that payment? Okay, it's $365. Wow. How did you get your payment so low? You didn't think it was low? You put no money down? Okay, I got you. That's okay. Average car payment in North America right now is over $500. I see people all the time with cars like this with a lot higher payment. That's no big deal. Okay, so you put 0 down. Okay, fantastic. So I've just got my 5 money questions. When did you buy your car? How much did you pay for it? When's your next payment due? How much is that payment? And wow, how'd you get your payment so low? And if you think about that for a second, I just learned a lot, right? Today's what? Today's the 7th, 8th of June. If his payment's due on the 15th, what do we already know? We probably can get at least that monthly payment as far as a down payment, right? He put 0 down last time. I could probably get the $365 on a down payment today because he's not going to have a payment for 45 days, okay? People repeat behavior. People repeat behavior. I already know he's at $365 a month, right? I already know he paid $16,000 whatever for his car. I've got good insight into the transaction, okay? So as we're moving through, this is going to allow me to do a better job as far as what I need to do next. Now, I've captured the information, and you see me, I keep acting like I'm writing on here because that's what I would be doing. I would be filling out my coach pad when I'm with the customer. So I capture that information right on here. And then when I go up and I meet my manager, right, and I'm introducing my manager to the customer, I say, hey, Mr. Manager, this is Vinny. He has a 2015 Toyota Corolla. I didn't mention it, but you got to get the miles off of that car, right? So he's got a 2015 Toyota Corolla, and it's only got 32,000 miles on it. I told him we needed a car like that. Told him that is something that we've been looking for and we could definitely use. I've got all the information on his car. He's interested in a new 2018 What's-It Mobile. We're about to go out and look at some new What's-It Mobiles. I'm also going to show him that certified pre-owned that we got in, the one that you told us about the other day to save us about $3,000 or $60 a month of payment. And take him out and show him that as well. And then as the manager, I'm going to simply look at Vinny and I'm going to say, man, we appreciate you being here. Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you giving us the opportunity to take your vehicle in on trade and get you in a new What's-It Mobile. You're working with one of our best guys. Derek's a great salesperson. He's going to take great care of you. I got another appraisal that I got to get finished up. Probably take me about 15, 20 minutes to get through with that. And then I'll get right on yours. So you guys, when you find that What's-It Mobile you like, take it for a test drive. Check it out. Make sure it's the right one for you and your family. Come on back. We'll show you how easy it is to do business here at Cardone Motors. Again, Vinny, I really appreciate you being here. You're working with Derek. He's one of our best guys. He's going to take great care of you. I'm going to get your car professionally appraised. Probably be about 15, 20 minutes so I can get to it, but I'm definitely going to get it handled before you get back. So thank you, and I'll see you guys back. Make sure to look me up when you come back from the test drive. Okay, look, that's easy. We're less than 10 minutes into this whole gig. I've already met the customer. I've greeted them using information. I've proceeded to the next step to offer to save them 30 minutes worth of time. I have gathered the information that I need so that I can structure my deal properly, and I can put myself in a position to do a fantastic selection and demonstration. I've offered alternatives, and I've got an early management interaction. Man, I tell you what, we're teed up for a deal. We got every opportunity to sell a car right now. So when you think about it and you're using the coach pad, it's not an interrogation tool. Please don't let this thing, don't have your mirrored sunglasses on, scribbling in this, asking them questions in an accusing manner. It's conversational. Has to be. Has to be of value to the customer, right? This is real. This is not, we're not doing Playhouse 90 here. We need to be of value to the customer. We need to ask them the right questions. We need to move deeper into the process, and we need to use that information later in the process to help us get the deal closed. So think about it from that context, right? The coach pad is your guide. All those questions are right there on the coach pad. It's going to help you gather that information, help the managers go ahead and get that thing wrapped up. So listen, let's 10X our weekend. I don't know how long I've been talking. I'm talking about 20 minutes. That's about par for the course. Let's 10X our weekend. So what do we need to stay focused on? We need to stay focused on using information to get deeper in the process. We need to pay attention to the questions that we're asking the customer during our needs assessment. If you can do it around the customer's present vehicle, you're going to get better information. I promise you. You need to give the customer a reason for doing it, right? What's the reason? We're going to give them all the information they need before they leave, right? And we're also going to save them 30 minutes worth of time. Those are critical pieces. Ask the 9 questions I was talking about, the 5 money questions. When did you buy your car? How much did you pay for it? When's your next payment due? How much is that payment? How'd you get your payment so low? And then the 4 non-money questions, but are so important. What do you like most? What do you like least? What's your next vehicle need to do that this one doesn't? And what's changed most in your life since your last purchase? If you ask those questions, I promise you'll have a better understanding of your customer, and it'll allow you to put yourself in a position to be much more successful as you transition deeper into the sales process. I am Derek. It's Automotive Fridays. Please share this video. Throw us some likes, throw us some comments. Lindsay is off doing some wedding activities this week, so I will make sure that she pays attention, though. If you share this, she will send you something nice. And we really, truly appreciate you. We appreciate you being on here. Hey, 10xyourprofits.com, CardoneInstitute.com, all kinds of information out there. Grab one of those retail process assessments, take it. We'll have somebody get back in touch with you. Next week, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this, but our goal next week is to be able to take us back and look at a little bit more deal desking. This is a big topic. Had a lot of conversation over the last couple of weeks. We got people coming up, walking in the video. So, hey, appreciate you being on with us. Look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.